Hello everyone, happy Thursday. We are here for another episode of Triple T. I'm so glad that you're here with me. Today we are going to be talking about how to deal with your online haters, confused fans as I like to call them. And it could be a heavy topic for some people. So if you're not down for that, I totally get it. This could be one of those that it could make you mad, it could make you sad, it could make you glad. We don't know. So to that end, we're just gonna, we're gonna bring it back old school, because I'm an old school fool who's so cool. I forget. We're gonna open up a bottle of wine because you know what? That's just the kind of day that we've had. Today we're opening up the Love and Squalor 2014 Antsy Pants Pinot Noir from the Willamette Valley. So that's what's in my cup today. I would love to know what's in your cup, people. What is in your cup? Hello to Adam's Exploits. Hello to Pixelpia. Hello to James Pruitt. Great to see you. Oh, do you guys recognize this wine opener, by the way? This is the one that totally got me on TikTok one day. I tried to make a video and I was like, oh, I know how to open wine. I really do. But this one, it really got me. So you screw it in like this and then it comes out. Oh, it's going to play me. Okay, never mind. Oh, I thought I was about to have some words real quick. By the way, I don't know if you guys can tell, I'm rearranging my set just a little bit in the background. Maybe you noticed, maybe you didn't. I was always having the worst glare from the television that was behind me. And honestly, I didn't really use that television. So I've been trying to rip down some of these curtain things and try and make it so that it's not the glare from the ring light in the television reflecting back at you. Small YouTube-y things. Maybe you noticed, maybe you didn't. It looks the same. Did I change anything? I think I might have changed some other stuff, but whatever. Cheers to all of you out there. Nothing in your cup yet. What? You better fix that for the ASMR people. Here we go. Cheers to ya. Cheers to ya. Now, not bad. Okay. As you go on in your online career, however you want to call it, you're going to find more and more people who are willing to come out and be like, I don't like you. And while some of it may start off as small little nothings, little Twitter paintings that they keep to themselves or just scroll on, it seems the larger that you get sometimes, the more excited they are to let you know the disdain for you that therein lies within, and they feel the need to share it with y'all. Let me know if you know what I'm talking about. And also, put in the comment if you've had your first hater comment yet and what the best one that you've received is. Oh, I wonder how moderation might, because it has the auto moderation already enabled. I wonder if it will try and catch any of those. Let's have a fun game. Let's see. Let me know your best hater comment that you've gotten so far. Okay. And then I'll share with you some of mine. Although if you've been here a while, you've seen some of them. Also, let me see. You love that style of corkscrew. Hey, Keely, thank you for 2 streams in a row. Same to you, Adam. And yes, thank you so much. Seltzer, water, thanks. Yes, you're sitting in a boring hotel room. What are you doing? Comments is what made me quit back in 2014, and you deleted your whole channel. Oh my gosh, I feel like we got to have a conversation about that. So sorry that happened to you. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the haters. Why they hate us. They hate us because they ain't us. Am I right? I'm gonna hit show on this here. Okay. If any of them come up, I'm gonna approve all of them, right? We'll see how it goes. So, by the way, channel members that are out there, go take a look because Pixelpia helped me with some ideas for one of the newest little emoji things for y'all. And then I uploaded a couple more. So if you are a channel member, you should have access now to a couple more fun little emojis. So go check it out. Yep. Now, let me know if this gets to be too loud, too soft, all that stuff. Okay. And of course, what I'm talking about here is the creator mix music. Oh, where's my little overlay? It's missing all the music. Creator mix. Let me see if I can find that overlay for you as well. I gotta give D and them some props. Thanks for letting us have all this free music. Where is it? Options. Overlays. Show overlays window. Give me the little... Where is it? Dancing. No. Where is it? I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna put... Oh, I wonder if it's only on my main camera. 1 second. There it is. There we go. I'll put that on. I'm gonna put it in all scenes. Now I should have both. Yeah, look at that. Okay. It is quite right. Hello, Sam Superstar. Now, when it comes to hater comments, there's a couple of things that we need to distinguish. Number one, Post-its. Post-its for the win. Is it harmful or is it helpful? What do we mean by that? Sometimes there may be comments that you're getting and they might, even though they're coming across as just mean, they may be helping you in some way. So some could be like, your microphone noise is so bad I can't listen to you. Even though it's a mean comment, it could be based with some helpful tidbit in there, which is maybe you need to pay attention to your audio and it's turning people away, right? If it's like, the camera was so shaky I couldn't watch this video, it made me physically sick and have reaction. Maybe it goes to the point of like, oh, if it's not meant to be that way, if it's a GoPro, should I get a gimbal? Should I, so there are certain things where sometimes if it's happening to one, it's happening to some. Let me know if that makes sense. Sometimes if you get one person who's going to comment that this is happening to me, it's affecting me in some way, there are more people who also feel the same, who just didn't bother to take the time to write that comment, okay? So first thing is this harmful? Is this helpful? And once we kind of dial it back a moment and be like, oh man, that hurt, ouch. Is it truthful, right? Is it kind of truthy is the way, or is it falsy? It's truthy or falsy. And so if it's truthy, is it something you want to address? And if it's falsy, obviously you're not going to address it. Or, I don't know, maybe you will. So let's start with some qualifications, right? Harmful, helpful. I'm also going to say truthful versus falsy. It's kind of like a software term, I guess. Truthful or falsy. I'm sorry that they said that to you. Now, this can lead us into another thing that we're going to talk about here in just a second, which is response, okay? Which response is going to be more of a defensive mechanism, and then we're also going to be talking about some of these offensive type of mechanisms, right? So you got offense trying to score, defense trying to deflect, block, shield, all that kind of stuff, right? Keely, don't come for me, okay? I am not the sports analogy person. I should have never done that, okay? Okay. So now we have a few things. Actionable or non-actionable, right? Here we go. So now we've got a few things. If you find someone who's living in your quadrant, dichotomy here, that is harmful, falsy, and not actionable, is obviously something you're probably not going to take action upon, right? But if you found something that is helpful, truthy, and actionable, then this might be the area and quadrant in which you're going to live and you're going to change something, right? So we don't need to always worry about the people up here who are in the falsy, hurtful type of range. So one, we're going to determine which side of our little spectrum does our little troll live on, okay? And that's going to help then influence, if you will, how you want to deal with them, okay? should have hooked up my iPad. Where's the iPad? Where's the pencil? Give me a second. Not that you guys want to see my chicken scratch. Tell me some more, hurl some more insults, not at me, that you've gotten. Talk about it. But if you don't want to relive the memories and the hurtful times, you don't have to. If I were a cable, where would I hide? Second here. And if you're wondering how we're doing all of this magic in real time, just like Sammy Superstar said, it's the magic of eCam. Okay, let's take a look here. Give me a second. Give me a second. We're gonna get this all up and running. Bring up my chicken scratch. Allow. By the way, how's your week going, everyone? I'm gonna need a pencil. I'm gonna need a pencil for this. By the way, I don't know if I've ever showed y'all this. It tickles me to no end. Hold on, I don't know if you can see this or read it. I was able to personalize my Apple Pencil. I wanted Shelly Saves the Day, but you have character limits. So my pencil says, Shelly saved me. I don't know why, that just tickles me. on my iPad pencil, that's what it says. All right, let me see here if I can do main and iPad. Let's preview it. Let's see. Oh, it didn't do it. Oh, it didn't do it. 1 second. Wow. Why didn't it do it? Why didn't it do it? Totally professional. Why are you not coming in the way you're supposed to? Did I do something wrong? Oh, I probably did do something wrong. Yeah. I don't want that one. By the way, here, I'll let you enjoy some sweet jams. All of this just because I wanted to share my iPad with y'all. Yes. I am a superstar. Superstar. All right, here we go. Where were we on the Post-it? Here we go. We've got our little quadrants here. Do you know that I'm talking to you, little iPad? I want purple. Yeah, purple. All right, so we got our 2 quadrants here, right? Let's come out just a little bit here. That's the worst looking line I've ever seen. Anyways, on one side we had, is it harmful? Is it falsy? Is it not actionable? On this one we had, is it helpful? Is it truthy? And is it actionable? Boom. We're back to where we were. All right, y'all still with me? All right, so here we are. Now we're gonna move into, there we go. Whew. Now we're gonna move into, what are you gonna do about it? And we're gonna talk offense and defense, right? So first thing we're gonna do is we are gonna talk about going on the offense. C, isn't it? You guys are gonna tell me. I think it's offense, right? I would think so, right? Because then defense. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I think that's correct. Okay, so if you're going on the offense, S, leave it to the Swede. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Good thing it's on the internet where it lives forever and everyone can see how bad I am at spelling. Okay, so going on the offense is going to be things such as I don't know if you've seen it, but if you go into some people's live streams, I know Nick Nimmin has it, Emily D. Baker has it, there are several other people. It's a Swedish teacher that have basically rules that you agree to before you are allowed to chat. And that is going to be stuff like no hate speech, no bullying people, no whatever they may happen to choose and put in there. So if they have that, they may have enabled that. Okay. Now, that is going to be for people who are live stream. Other things, though, okay, you can have what do they call them? Under the community settings, guidelines, basically, there are certain words that you can block, okay? And so that's going to be, here's some things that I am going to, we're going to just move the, because I have a feeling this could take a while. So we're just going to wait for a second on that one, okay? So we have keywords to exclude, okay? So if you happen, and we talked about this in the safety online type of one, there are some things that you may want to exclude. You may want to exclude parts of your social security number. You may want to exclude parts of your phone number. You may want to exclude, if you happen to be someone who doesn't use your full name, or just in general, legal name, snippets, whatever, right? You may want to, if you have a family where you have specific names that you want to exclude, you may want to exclude those. So maybe it's a kid's name, maybe it's a spouse name, maybe it's a significant other name, maybe it's a parent name, right? There could be some of those instances where bad individuals out there will go and try and dig up as much information about you as possible, you know, or they're going to try and publish information about you so that, you know, if you don't catch it, all that kind of stuff, right? Now, another thing that you can do if you are going to be live streaming and whatnot, right? We have these wonderful moderators. So all of the people who are in the chat here hanging out with us today that happen to have little wrenches next to their name, if they wanted to, they could boot you for, you know, or make you be quiet for a little bit, not forcibly, but in the digital age, they could go ahead and, you know, maybe block you or keep you from chatting. That could be something. Now, YouTube has a couple of levels of moderation when it comes to the live streams. One of them is going to be hold, potentially, we'll just call it bad words, right? Then they went one step further, and then they had a beta that was, hopefully raise your hand if you've seen that, where they have additional wording, but it's basically additional content moderation and increased sensitivity. Let me know if you've seen that. So that's also in the beta as well, right? Then of course you can still use those same blocked words and similar to your live stream chat as well. Okay, so let me know that you're with me so far. Annie says, I have been thinking about getting the pencil for my iPad. Is it worth it? Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yes, definitely. Yep, Cameron said, I use my Apple Pencil every day. I would totally recommend it. Yep. And then Discord for Creators agrees and says, I could not imagine using an iPad without one. Yes, good. Pixelpia says, that is a growing list. Blocked words, the trolls are very inventive. Yes, and I've talked about this before too, where sometimes when one gets through, sometimes you're like, wow, thank you for helping me add to my library. That is not one that I had thought of before. Kudos to you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Right? Not sure what's going on over there. Can I? Okay. So I'm gonna see, what is that setting officially called? One second. And also, if you're looking for where the channel guidelines are for chat and all of that stuff that I was talking about just a minute ago, if you go to your settings and then to community and then the channel guidelines, there is a space where you can write a welcome message and add up to 3 guidelines. I'm going to put this in here. Channel guidelines is going to be settings, then community, and then channel guidelines. This is where you find it. In case you're trying to look for it, that's where it is. That's where 3 layers deep, okay? So you can add 3 guidelines, up to 3, for people to acknowledge before they are able to comment or participate in live chat for the first time. So each guideline must follow the community guidelines, and it will be available to view in the YouTube app. Okay. So they even have some example guidelines, such as be civil and respectful, stick to the topic, questions welcome, no self-promotions or spam, and challenge the argument, not the person. That's a good one. I like that. Yeah, I like that. Now, under the defaults is going to be the information about the chat, which we're talking about now. So that's going to be hold potentially inappropriate comments for review. They're using their AI to do this, which means it may be spam or self-promotion, gibberish, otherwise potentially inappropriate, and it will be automatically held for review in YouTube Studio and will only be published if you approve them. So you'll have to find them under the Held for Moderation tab, okay? And then it says, if you want a higher level of protection for your channel, increasing the strictness will increase the number of comments that are held for review. So if you're not someone who goes into the held for review a lot or doesn't plan to, then maybe you want to leave it at that. But that is the beta, which is the experiment, which is the increased strictness. So if you select that, then there will be more potentially held for review type of channel comments that you would need to go in and manually approve. Now, what happens when someone does that? They're going to, think that they're making lovely comments, but they're not going to appear on the video. But if they're logged in, they think they appear on the video. I know, it's a fun little game. And then this also can be selected for messages in live chat. You can hold the potentially inappropriate chat. You can also do things in your live chat stream, such as blocking links, which tend to be a lot of self-promotion spam or, adult-friendly type sites. Not always. It can become a problem if I want to be like, hey, I'd like to recommend this old video of mine. Make sure you go check it out. You just want to make sure you yourself or a moderator who has access and permissions is able to then put in the link correctly. Otherwise, you're going to block yourself. Jenna Hogan, hello, how are you? Say, girl, hello. Next time, maybe you should do an announcement on your Discord server. I would be totally down to be notified. Heart emoji. Thank you. You know, I never really think about it because I go live every week at the same time, but yeah, maybe. And then Discord for Creator Kelly says, yeah, no brainer, I'm assuming. And it says, I've got a good bot for you. Baby got bot. Just throw it at her, Kelly. Well, I think you're already an admin in there. You can just, to your heart's content. To your heart's content, all right? Oh, thanks so much, Jenna. In fact, actually, Keely, Discord for Creators, helped me set up my server. That was something that the channel members wanted because I offered a Facebook group and they said no. They were being little prissy babies and they said, we want a Discord server. And I was like, oh, let me dust the dirt and dust and rust off this one. So there we go. We have a server. I'm trying, y'all. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for those of you who are in there right now in the exploratory phase and trying to make conversations happen. I'm looking at you, Pixelpia. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Now, if you are someone who is getting overrun and inundated by really crappy comments, there's a couple of other things on the offensive side that we're going to be talking about, right? One, chat for blank. This is going to be where you can say stuff like, only people who have been subscribed to me for, you can set the time, 1 week or 7 minutes or, a specific amount of time, only subscribers or any amount of time, you have to be subscribed to me to be able to comment. And in fact, that's the way that most of my chats are set up now, where anyone who's here, pretty much as long as you've been subscribed for 1 minute or longer, you can chat. Hopefully that keeps out some of the bots. Now, some people will do, members only live streams, and that's how we are able to do our member only live streams where they're the only ones whose chat will show up, but anyone can watch. Or you could even go so far as to not have any comments and disable all comments. Or that is something you could do. If that's something, if you're not in the right frame of mind or you're not looking at comments and don't want to get distracted, you could certainly do something. Or you could do something where it's hold all comments for review. And that just means no comments will appear publicly until you go into the back end of YouTube Studio and approve each one individually, okay? So you have chat for blank, and then you have hold all, and then you have disable. Now this is gonna go pretty much the same for regular video on demand as well, which is gonna be, you can turn off comments on all. So if you are someone who gets, let's say a body positivity type of channel, and what you get is just overwhelmingly a bunch of people who aren't very body positive and you don't want to subject viewers and you don't want to be subjected to it, you could just turn off all comments too. So that is something. Oh, look at that. Server girls making friends in the chat. Love that. Love that. All right. Are you guys with me so far? Let me know. Do we need a boogie break? Too much? Sorry. I like the jams, dude. Now, if you do have a good library, I would advise you to copy and paste your library and put it not only in the blocked word section of YouTube, but you can similarly copy and paste those comma separated value type of fields and put them into places such as probably Discord too. But I know like you can do it on Instagram, on Facebook. There are certain words, phrases, whatever that you can block as well. So if that's something that you want to do, yes. Now, me close out of here. Here we go. We're going to talk about, that was some of the offensive stuff. I'm gonna erase this. We're going to get into some of the why. Why people are doing this, okay? Probably the number one reason, right, is that they want attention. They want attention and they want it from you, right? Now, I'm also going to say, just as a little aside, hurt people hurt people. Now, what I mean by that is sometimes, oh man, don't you just want to give them a good whooping with like some biting comeback and everything? Sometimes it might be doing more harm than good. Okay, so here's some of the stuff that we can do, right? We can filter them so they don't even get to us, but this is now the next level. Once you see it, we've got some options. Let me know what you do. How many people vote with a I do this, or yes, I do this, or whatever name of thing, and I do this? How many people just get hate comments and ignore them? I'm gonna say it also depends on the hate comment. It depends is what I'm gonna say. All right, so here are some of your options. Let me know how you guys deal with your hate comments. One, you can ignore them, right? You can put them in the potentially held for review, never go open it. You can have a bunch of moderators come in and clean up all the stuff. So if you go in there, you just don't see it at all. So ignorance is bliss in that way. You don't even know, because some people will hire teams to go in and just basically delete. And that's on the defensive side, right? This is, I'm gonna let people comment, or this is what's come in, and now I'm just gonna react to it. So it's all very reactionary instead of being proactive in this case. So that's an option. And then you can just go on with your life, because sometimes what people want is when they get a rise out of you, they're usually not coming back to say they're sorry or they're wrong. It's rare, it happens. I've had experiences with it, but most of the time, right, you end up getting into some piss party with someone who, like, doesn't really matter. Now, the second thing you can do is you can engage with them, right? So this can be a comment back. You can call them names back if you want, right? You can seek to understand why they're doing it, ask them questions. You can reach out privately if you track them down, all that stuff. That's all engaging, right? And another is blocking, right? And I would say it depends on the egregiousness of what they've done, right? Did they say vile, derogatory, heinous things that were sexist, misogynistic, like talking about how they wanted to hurt you physically, talking and threatening you in some way? That's going to be a block and report all day long, right? I guess I should also say reporting is an option, right? So those are options as well. So is it better to, especially if it becomes dangerous, maybe take a screenshot of it and send it to police, or, you know, try to track them down, or report them and see if you can get some sort of platform to take action against them, right? That's all going to be something that you wish could happen. And then the last thing is actually, you might actually take into account what they're saying and make changes. Whether you choose to acknowledge or not acknowledge, that's going to be something right there. That's going to be a own personal decision. Okay. So let's hear a couple of things from y'all about what you choose to do. It says, I don't upload content, but I would engage, says Cameron. And Discord for Creator says, true trolls, I just block. Those who I need to manage, I manage. Oh, it's very, like, it's handled. Olivia Pope. I love it the way you just said that. Pixelpia says, I think since my list of blocked words is extensive, I almost never get comments that need to be taken care of. If they are directed to me, I usually don't care. Directed to others and they are blocked. That's a really great one, and let's talk about that for a second, because there can quickly become a time when your online haters or trolls, I call them confused fans sometimes, will turn their attention and focus off of you as their main target. And instead, because they're not maybe getting the reaction that they wanted, hoped for, expected, or they're just really a rabble rouser, they may go after your audience. Now, as an online content creator, I like to think of it as each channel is someone's house. And a lot of the time, if you invite people over to your house and you're having a dinner party, right? You're having a dinner party and someone comes to your house and then they start knocking over the furniture, getting drunk and telling, your other guests that they're stupid, that becomes a problem because you are the host of this party, and you either can have everyone else at the party be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that just happened. This is the type of things that happen at like Shelly's house party. Like, we're not coming back to Shelly's house party because I don't feel safe, seen, secure, or that she's going to stick up for me, or, something else is going to happen. So, or you're just going to have bickering amongst the house guests, and you're just like, dude, I just wanted to have dinner, right? I just wanted to have dinner with some like-minded people. Hey, oh, you don't have to do that. Christina Smallhorn, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I'm also going to say hello to Dutch Can Jam. Hello, good evening. You're late, but that is totally okay. You never have to apologize. I'm so glad that you're here. Christina's here as well. Christina, let me know if you're around, up for it, want to come in. But, actually, we're talking about trolls. And I know that you have some doozy of stories, and usually yours are circulating around the fact that they don't either like your hair or your makeup, which I think is stupid, okay? I can't even get started with that. I get some of those too, but anyways, let's find a song, and we're gonna do the super chat dance, y'all. Let me pull up a little ditty, and we're gonna jam. You stop it. I'm sure you look amazing. Are you wearing your cute overalls? Give me a second here. We're gonna do the dance. We're gonna do a dance. Let's see. Let's do... I just gotta find a song. It's been so long. This one? Nope, that was a mistake. That was a mistake. All right. Let me see. Oh, hello, Bruce Lietta. It's good to see ya. Chill music. You know what? You want to hear something? In high school, I was the president of our DJ club. Yeah, our high school had a DJ club. It just meant we got underpaid to DJ the high school dances. But I will say, even back then, I was still in the mode of trying to help them, like, people make money. So, like, I made them double our rates from $25 to $50. And then we used that money to buy more music. And, because people would complain that there was because people were bringing in their own CDs. Yes, I said CDs. And so I went out and we bought more music so people wouldn't be as upset. But yeah, I was totally president of our high school DJ club. It wasn't cool though. We didn't have like mixer boards. It was literally like play, turn on the. Okay, Christina Smallhorn. Okay, I'm going to bring you in here. Let me open up my scene. And everyone, welcome to the stage. Christina Smallhorn. Hello. How are you?
Hello, friend.
Hello, friend. How are you? Everyone, give props to Christina. She's now... Oh, you do have the overalls on. She is now 2 weeks into her real estate thumbnail YouTube mastermind course that she's doing. She's doing a fantastic job. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you, girl.
Thank you.
You're doing the thing, doing the damn thing. I think teaching people all the things. All right. For anyone who doesn't know who you are, do you want to give the people a brief rundown on who you are, lady?
My name is Christina Smallhorn. I run a channel. It's about real estate, but it's affordable housing options. And I have a YouTube group that helps real estate agents grow their YouTube channel. I don't charge for that. And then occasionally I have friends that talk me into doing a thumbnail course.
Yeah, how'd that happen?
Yeah, it's because you pressured me into it. You bullied me. You trolled me until I did it.
And sometimes the trolls go from being harmful, falsy, and not actionable to helpful, truthful, and actionable. This is me living down here in this quadrant down here. And I'm sorry. Don't even talk. Did you or did you not? I feel like very Emily D. Baker and like the Amber Heard trial. Did you or did you? Is it true that you sold out your class in 7 minutes?
It's true.
So don't tell me that the people didn't want what you were selling and you just needed to get off your little fanny and offer it to people. How long is your, sorry, do you have a waiting list that's like 4 times longer than your current enrollment right now?
Correct.
Isn't it true that you, isn't it true that you, Christina Smallhorn, are a badass?
Yes, it is.
Alrighty then, people. There it is. There it is.
I have to tell you, because I just came across this article. Do you know who Meghan McCain is? She was like on The View. She was one of the people on The View.
Yeah.
Do you know who that is?
Yeah, the blonde one, right?
Yes. She put out a book in her first week of sales. Like, she's famous, in my opinion.
They all have books.
Of sales, but she only sold 244 copies.
Are you serious?
Yes.
How is that even possible?
I don't even know how that's humanly possible. Only 244 copies.
Like, cannot process or fat. That's that influencer with 300,000 subscribers that couldn't sell 17 shirts, you know? How is that possible? She was on a nationally syndicated television show for years and years and years. Like,
something went wrong.
She's the daughter of, like, John McCain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's her favorite quote, you know.
Even if she sat there and wrote a whole bunch of quotes about her own father, I think people would have bought more than 204. I feel like you, as like when you publish a book, would buy like 200 and start giving them away to your friends. Like, what? Like, does not.
Yeah, that's what I felt like. That something's wrong. Something is
grossly wrong.
Yeah, something's.
I don't even know how that's. It's
someone's fudging some numbers somewhere just to make her look fat, I think.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, you know.
Whatever. Yeah, I don't know how that's possible.
Anyways, we were talking about trolls.
I know you do. You have a ton about trolls and whatnot. So, I was saying that sometimes, I don't know how much of the live stream that you caught because I don't want to assume. But I was saying that sometimes people are just trying to get a rise out of you, and you can either choose to engage, ignore, block, be creative, be funny. You can be more on the offensive where you block a lot of words or you block links and different things like that. What would you say? Have you seen any kind of trend in the troll comments that you get, or how do you try and deal with some of them? Is it a lot on the offense, a lot on the defense? What do you think?
I think it mixes up in the mood. So when I had my first like viral video, I realized that I needed to make my blocked word list very extensive. So I was talking to a YouTube person that has like millions and millions of subscribers, and he's like, I have a blocked word list that is fantastic. And I'm like, thank you. So he sends it over, and it's like, whoa. And I'm like, all right, copy, paste, stuck it in there. And then I've added words to that because like every version of Bitcoin or cryptocurrency and WhatsApp and all that.
Yep.
So that all has now disappeared. I've tried to come up with every version because they even use like special characters to get around that stuff. I mean, these people are sick. And then I have the because my audience is older, and I feel bad because I do get scammed by this because they're like, oh, Christina's talking to me, but it's not me, because they'll like make up a fake profile of me or whatever. I try my best to just kind of go through those as quickly as possible. But I do have people like, I just did a video recently that has done pretty well, and it was about building a house in 28 minutes. And during the video, right. So the crawfish became the big problem. So people are genuinely upset that I cooked crawfish, that I put crawfish in a pot of boiling water, but I don't know how else to cook crustaceans, and crawfish happens to be a cultural food here in Louisiana. I didn't know it was going to offend people so much, but I just kept on I keep asking people, how else am I supposed to cook crawfish? How else are we supposed to cook them? Because if you cook them dead, that means you're going to get food poisoning. Yeah. Not one person has answered me. Not one.
Well, and that is, so one of the ways that you chose to engage is to not come from a defensive, but to come from a very like, I'm trying to understand your point of view. So please explain to me how best I should proceed so it would be more palatable, right? So it's like, if you cook dead crawfish, you risk the potential of being poisoned or having it, getting sick, right? And so then it's almost like, well, if you don't want me to do that, do you want me to just not show them going into the thing? Do you not want, like, is that the problem? Like, if you were to try and like pinpoint, sometimes you can engage with some civil discourse with people, and sometimes you really can't. And then it really comes down to that, like, is it something I want to take action on or something I don't,
I never showed them actually being alive and going into the pot. I showed them boiling. I showed them alive, but I never showed them in the basket, like going into the pot, because I was like, because I knew that too much for people. But regardless, if you actually took the video as a whole, all the seconds that are put together, there were 63 seconds of actual cooking of crawfish, but like most of it was like just the pot with the steam boiling up. We didn't focus too much on actual cooking of the crawfish. Like, they totally missed it because they were so focused. And people have their own agenda and their own offenses and defenses in their brain. So it's like, it's kind of like you can't win. So it is what it is. That video's there. If you like, there's a billion other videos on the platform. Go watch something else. Like, I can't help you. I can't help you, because like, if it was hot dogs, would I get as much flack? If it was a hamburger, would I get as much flack? Like, what's the difference? They all were alive at one point before they went into your mouth. I don't know. I don't know.
Now I'm having hamburger for dinner, and I get to think about that.
Have you seen the TikToks with the cows? They're so freaking precious. And I'm like, oh, that is so cute. I want a baby cow. What are we having for dinner tonight? Like, I love a steak. It's like, I think people dissociate with the fact that like this right here isn't anything like the baby cow that you see right there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Now, I think you already touched on something as well. A lot of people have their own things that they're not able to process, and so they lash out in anger at someone who's on the screen. So maybe it's, I'm a vegetarian, I'm a vegan, I'm a cow lover, and here you are eating hamburger, and I don't know how to process this. I don't know how to change the channel, so I need to lash out at you. right? So that can
Yeah.
be one of the reasons why someone is really going to have their way with their words when it comes to projecting them towards you. Now, you also touched on something that was really important, which is almost everyone is going to get offended about something, right? And whether you're doing something intentionally or unintentional, it is going to happen at some point where you have some sort of faux pas where someone's going to be like, I'm offended by that. Now, does it come, how they approach you as well is going to sometimes dictate what the reaction might be. If they're just coming in hurling insults and, you know, obscenities at you, you probably aren't going to be like, okay, I see where you're coming from. I am a fuckface. Thank you so much. And you know what I mean? Like, so if
let me just say this really quick because it's in my head, and if I don't say it, I'll forget it. I got a lengthy email once because I had used the expression like, don't treat that room like the redheaded stepchild, because that's a thing. That's
a common
quote
like nomenclature.
Expression.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I got this lengthy thing, and she's like, I just find it extremely offensive because if you're a stepchild and you happen to be redheaded, and she went through this whole explanation in such detail. I'm like, you know what? It's not that big of a deal to me to not use that in my vernacular. I won't never use it again. And she was like, okay, thank you.
Have you seen the TikTok where the lady's like, this cheese, blah, 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 I want to take it back. And they're like, oh, no problem. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry, did you want to fight? She's like, yes, I would very much like to fight first,
Yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal or that important of an expression to me to continue it. So I was like, yeah, you know what? I don't need to use that anymore. I'm good. I'm done with it.
I had a similar type of thing, and I had made a YouTube short or a video about this at one point, and I said how back in the day, I never used to be offended when people would say, you guys, there's a group of you guys, hey guys. And so someone else later would be like, oh, isn't that so offensive? And I'm like, I don't know, is it? They're like, why don't they say, well, you wouldn't see a bunch of dudes standing around and say, hey girls, right? Unless it was some sort of insult. And I'm like, I don't know. I thought guys could be inclusive. And then it was like, well, it should be something that's more open at like y'all, hey everyone, hey viewers, whatever, because it's then sexless. And so I was like, okay, I didn't understand that for some people it was so something to get worked up about. Yeah, so I was like, I am fine with changing that and trying to use y'all or everyone or everybody as often as possible. That's not a big deal to me, but that is where it comes into the maybe it's helpful, maybe it's truthy, and then it's not that hard to change, right? So if it is something that I don't want to change, then that also is going to affect how you come across and deal with people as well.
Yeah. The only time I ever really get like is when the thing that really like pains my soul is when people, oh, excuse me, when they will Eddie, golly, he's in the house. When they'll say something about my intelligence, or they'll say that what I'm saying is like that I'm a liar, or that I'm trying to do something malicious. Then I have a knee-jerk reaction to react to it. Like I'll say them, obviously, if you watched my channel before, because that's far from who I am. You don't know anything about me. So I suggest you probably watch a couple more videos of me, because I would never, ever do that to anybody. Right. I just did a video about owning rental properties, and they're like, landlords like you are the reason why this is a real problem. I'm like, you have that all wrong. I haven't even upped my rent. Matter of fact, I gave people a break during the pandemic before they put the rental moratorium up. I reduced people's rent so they can make it. You don't know anything about me.
Yeah. That's another thing is a lot of people have to realize that these online trolls and haters, I call them confused fans sometimes, that they take a snapshot of you. And especially for us who have so many years on YouTube or just, videos, they take a snapshot in time and they decide to judge your character, your persona, your everything, your personality traits, or how good or bad of a person you are based on 5 to 7 minutes, if they made it that far of you, right? Of however many years we've been alive or on this planet, or what we happen to share. And it could be something where it was from 7 years ago and it's not how you feel anymore. It's not, your views change, but they don't go out and seek if you've updated opinions since then. They just take that snapshot in time, make their opinions, and then word vomit all over you about, let's say, how much they disagree or how bad of a person you are. So one thing you really have to take into account is that most people, they don't know you. They don't really know you. It's not like your cousin, your mom or dad, your brother or sister, your best friend that are making these comments. It's usually internet strangers who think that they know you. Would you kind of agree?
Yes, absolutely. And some people they may know a little bit about you. Like maybe they follow you on Facebook, so they see some more like personal stuff about you or whatever. And so then they try to throw that in your face. Well, I saw that picture you had of your daughter, so I know what kind of person you are. I'm like, elaborate, please, sir. Yeah, and it's like I get a lot of that. My husband gets more mad, so he can get a little bit more mouthy. And at times I'm like, "Hey, you don't have to do that." But there's like other times, most of the time he'll go up to me and go, "Can I say something?" I'm like, "Please do,
Yeah.
please do."
And it's interesting because you really do sometimes have to pick and choose those battles, right? Is it the one against intelligence, or is it just the one who doesn't like your eyeshadow today, right?
Oh, I think those are funny.
Right, I know you do. And so one of the ways that you do is
hysterical.
you choose to engage, and not only do you respond back to them, but then you make more content out of it by screenshotting it and putting it in Facebook or something so that other people can also enjoy your hilarious point of view on it. And so that's definitely a way to go about it. Could it possibly encourage people to keep making ridiculous comments because they want to get a rise out of you and see if you'll put it on there? Absolutely. But it's all kind of like this cycle. You get to choose when you engage and when you jump off the train.
Right. Well, that's why I don't put it in the videos itself, and I don't put it like on YouTube. I take those YouTube comments and put them on Facebook for my friends and family to be entertained by them. It's two totally different audiences. So most likely those people aren't going to engage, but it could get some of my friends and family who say, "Oh yeah, I watch your channel," who's never watched my channel. They'll be like, "Oh my gosh, what are people saying over there?"
Well, I think it's important sometimes to share the comments, good and bad, because I've seen some people clean them so they're so pristine that you don't even see the type. And then you say something like, "Oh my gosh, I get these comments," and people are like, "It's not even that bad." And you're like, "Do I need to show you the folder? Do I need to show you the saved ones?" And I feel like a lot of people, they either don't believe that these things happen, right, until you show them, or they don't believe that someone else would like comment these things. And you're like, "No, this is what I deal with on a daily basis." So I think it's hilarious, especially people who aren't necessarily in the video space, to one, have to read them and be like, "People have said this to you?" And I'm like, not only do they say that, they follow up, but then I hope that it makes some people think that, oh, like, I'm not anonymous. Things I say online are read by creators, and they possibly run the risk of being put places visible where people are going to laugh at you. At one point, I did make a video where I was like, I'm so done with, like, I used to like block out their names, and I would like try and almost tell my side of the stuff. Like, but you can't, in some cases. You're not going to convince people. They're not looking to have their minds changed. They're just looking to get get you all riled up, and they don't care at all about changing their mind. But for someone who is either a people pleaser or someone who wants to be like understood, it can be really hard, and you have to learn, and it takes a while, because those first few comments, there are some that are just brutal, cut you to your core, and then I feel like as you go on in your YouTube career, you really get more jaded, and then they almost become funny, but then there's still some that will just get you. So I don't know if you have had that kind of same experience.
Of course. But one of my favorite ways to respond to somebody is to respond to their comment with, I articulate my words very carefully, and make it as vanilla and non-snarky as possible. And then I end it with, "And you, sir, have the day you deserve." That burns their rear end so bad. And then somebody was like, "That is super offensive. Have the day deserve. What are you supposed to mean by that?" I'm like,
And if you're offended by it,
then yeah, like, have the day you deserve. If you're a good person in the world, you'll have the day you deserve.
You deserve a good day, right? And if you're
if you're a bad person, you will.
And you have a bad day, well, that's because what you deserve.
Yeah. So have the day you deserve. You just have that day. Have it. Own it. Be one with it that day because you deserve it.
Now, I love that you do take those comments and you turn them into not just learning experiences, but funny moments to share with your family and friends. Do you have any that you would love to highlight or particularly stick out to you that you want to, like you can laugh at them now and you're just like, these are funny, or any that just really, really stick out?
I once did a video. Th- this is only for you guys. You guys are friends, so I'm just gonna let you know. I personally do not wear a brassiere, and I was wearing a shirt that I didn't really think about because I just don't think about it. I just don't wear one, and that became like the hot topic is my breast, my conversation, and I was like, should I take the video down? Should I take it down, Eddie? He's like, oh my God, these comments are so immature, and I was like, oh my God, I don't want to ruin the whole video because you can see my boobs, you know, like you can see them kind of like through the shirt because it was cold outside and stuff. He was like, screw it. It was like, they can be there. That is your body. Who cares? You know, I'm like, okay. So it took me a little while to get over it. But then when I started reading it, they were so funny. And they really were funny.
That is funny.
There's somebody who actually had tagged each timestamp when you saw something, you know, that would catch the sunlight just right. You know?
See, that's what I said.
Like,
confused
dedication.
fan. They're fans. They're fans. It's funny though. For just 1 second, I'm going to plug next week's show, I believe it is. I'm going to have my friend on Mahat Mama. I don't know if you had talked with her from the Viper stream.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
And
she was very nice.
She is going to be chatting about her OnlyFans. And one of the things that she's doing on her OnlyFans is talking about the fact that she has like, maybe it's not quite breast cancer, but something where she has to basically have them checked, evaluated, medically messed with. I don't know. And she talks about where she shares that. That's what she shares on her OnlyFans because you couldn't put bare boobies on YouTube without getting censored or taken down, right? So,
right.
And so she's actually educating people, but there's still that stigma around even just saying that you have, let's say, an OnlyFans or something like that. But she's also, you were on the stream, right? You met her? Super sweet, super nice. Yeah. So she's dealing with chronic illness, and she's trying to do Twitch gaming to like hang out with her son and stuff. So I think she's a fascinating person. So we're gonna do an interview. I think it's next week.
Button.
What?
Most beautiful head of hair I've
ever
seen.
Oh my gosh, she's so gorgeous, right?
I
super
know.
Sweet, like, super nice.
I'm wicked jealous of her hair.
I know.
So
right?
I gotta show you this really quick before we go any further.
Yeah.
I'm wearing this because I got a haircut, and I don't like my haircut. Can you see it?
Every time I see you, though, it is more and more like more shave, more shapes, more everything.
I let him do whatever he wanted, and he's like, "What do you think?" And I'm like, "It's done really well."
It's also like you can't just be like at that point. You're like, I don't like it.
Yeah, it's like,
what's he gonna do? Okay, let me unshave your head. Not go back and you can't. Like,
yeah, that was one of those times I'm like, do whatever you want, be creative. Oh. Big mistake. But whatever. The thing is about it is like every bad haircut when it's shaved is like 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, no one's gonna notice. So I've been flipping it over this way, and
well, it looks nice.
Yeah, there you go. It looks great.
It does. You wouldn't even know. Like that's
I did
the whole.
Color it last night too.
I like the purple. Yeah, I like it.
Thank you.
Yes. So we're gonna be talking next week all about boobies. So there you go. You're not alone. This week boobies. Next week boobies.
Them.
Yeah.
I have boobies.
Yeah, technically everybody does. I mean,
yeah,
because even the men have them. So there's that.
Yeah, there's a book that's called Why Do Men Have Nipples? But that is like we're going off the deep end here.
I know, right? I mean, that always reminds me of like the Meet the Fockers. It's like where he's talking about.
I love that movie. That was a good movie.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let me see here. So Chantel says, that sounds like an awesome chat. Yeah, I hope that you guys will come and hang out. We're trying to schedule it so she has some time. I think she's currently in the hospital, like doing some tests and stuff. So we're trying to give her some time to recover. So hopefully that will be next week and she'll be feeling up for it. And then Discord for Creators Keely says, I love the color. I've been playing with overtoning with purple and silver myself. I've always wanted to have purple hair as well. Mm-hmm. I think like you and the Emily D. Baker, like I've always wanted to have like purple. Because purple's, also my favorite color.
Keep in.
It's hard to keep it. Yeah.
Yeah, I do it every like 3 weeks.
And you do it
So
yourself?
yeah. Well, I don't know if you know this, but I'm a recovering hairdresser. I did hair for 12 years.
I didn't know that. No, I don't
Yeah,
think
I
I
sure
did know
did.
that.
Yeah, I was a matrix colorist for J.C. Penney, and I would travel across the United States and teach people all the new trends from matrix and
How much,
hair
like,
coloring
how much is,
techniques.
like, how much effort is it going to be? Because, like, black hair is really tough. And I remember once I tried to do, like, red, like, some streaks in it. And this was, like, way back in the
Mhm.
day. And, like, they had to bleach it and then dye it. And then it would, like, I had
Yeah.
to have this, like, red shampoo. And it was, like, a week it would last. And then it was just, like,
Red is the worst.
yeah.
Red is a lot worse than purple. A lot worse. And I found that if you do like if you're wanting like that silvery purple like I do, is if you put like uh a blue gray first and then put the purple on top of it at the second application, put the purple on top of it, then you get that true pretty color. And I mean it lasts about six washes and then I do it again. It's very
Oh,
cheap. Semi-permanent color is dirt cheap.
ugh. Okay, let me break this down for you. I think in the last 2 years I've cut my hair with kitchen scissors 3 times.
Me
So
too. Me too.
that's how I do it. I don't roll with the fits. So when
Yeah.
you're like every 6 weeks, I'm like, oh no, 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 no.
No, no, no. I do it like you could do it yourself. It's really like it's semi-permanent. You can I like it, I literally put it in my hands like this and go like this. I don't have time. Like I decided to color my hair last night at 12:30 at night. I'm like, I'm not tired. I might as well color my hair. So I colored it at
I do have
12:30.
a lot of like silver grays coming in, and they're turning white,
Those
and
are
I'm just like,
glitter strands.
oh, I'm wondering if I should like leave them and then see if that would be easier to turn purple. Because I was like, or I
Yeah.
just use black haired. I was like, I thought the black with the blue like tint in it, maybe. I was like, maybe,
Hmm.
maybe.
Oh,
Discord for
whatever. You
Creators
do.
says, true story, red is the smallest color molecule or something like that, right? So it
True.
doesn't penetrate to
True.
the
True.
follicle very well. Yeah, I remember they had to
Absolutely.
bleach my hair first and then turn it red, and then it would just fade in
Absolutely.
like 3 washes, and I was just like, it's not worth it. And it was only just
Red
a
is
couple of
difficult.
streaks. It was just a couple streaks. Couldn't do it.
Red is the worst. And I have like natural red undertones. So I was like, oh, it's going to last really long. And I used to make my hair auburn brown. I'm like, it's so pretty. But again, I was doing it every 3 to 4 weeks. At one time, I had my hair like this color, like a Coke a can red. And I was doing that every other shampoo. I was putting on temporary red. So it would be that bright, obnoxious red. Pink actually works much better than red does. Like you can get some really pretty vibrant pinks that last a very long time over red.
There is one Instagram filter that has purple, like purple hair,
Uh-huh.
and I
Uh-huh.
love it so much where I'm just like, oh, I want real purple hair. Like for
Yeah.
reals.
You can have it.
I want it.
You can have it. You can have anything.
Oh, oh, thank you. You have the day you deserve.
You have the day
You
you
have the day you
deserve.
deserve, honey.
Yep. You have the day you deserve.
Oh my
Isn't that the
gosh.
greatest? When
Yes.
someone's being super snarky and bitchy and they just answer that back and they have the day you deserve. Oh, they get what they deserve. When they read that too, some people have erased their comment. This one guy was like saying something about my haircut, and then had something to say about obviously he made assumptions on who I was as a person, and then my husband of course had to put his 2 cents in, and then I of course answered with the day you deserve, and then he erased his comment. The guy erased his comment. I'm like, oh, I don't know if it was because my husband got involved or it was because I told him to have the days reserved, but I felt justified that he erased his comment.
And I will say there are some times when you interact and you engage with someone, and very rarely and seldomly, but sometimes I have gotten an apology. Sometimes I have gotten I didn't really mean it towards you. And so they will start to backtrack because they don't really expect that someone on the other side of the screen is reading it and will respond. And it makes them feel more accountable or embarrassed that they have to either justify, explain, or really you got to double down on, no, I think you're stupid and I hate you.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's a real easy block, right? So do you have the
I
people
don't
that,
even block them. I don't even block them when they're super horrible. When they're just super egregious and horrible people. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna let the commenters take the care of this. I
well,
don't have
see,
to
if you
do a
have a
thing.
good community, right, they may try and stick up for you.
They
It,
do.
yeah,
They do.
it could, well, and especially you've had your audience long enough and they know you well enough that it's a lot easier than some rando coming in and saying their piece for a minute. So, of course,
Yeah.
that's always going to be an option. You know, we've got blocking, you've got reporting, you've got, you know, saying that maybe you did something that was unintentional, or you'll make a change, or that you apologize. All of those are options. And I do like in TikTok where they do have the option to do video responses to people's comments as well. And
I wish we could do that.
I
Oh
wish
my
we could
God.
do that as well. And I know that you can kind of do it as a video response to an Instagram, or sorry, to a story, a YouTube story view. If someone leaves a comment, you can kind of respond in video that way. Or if someone leaves a comment in like an Instagram story type of field, you can respond to them. But yeah, I do wish, I remember at one point when YouTube did have those video responses, you know, do you remember that video reaction response type things where you could tag
That
the
was a
original
million years
video?
ago.
Yeah, that was many, many moons ago, but even that was kind of a cool way to kind of like tie the things together. So if you were really going to be raked over the coals for something, you could defend yourself with a response video and tag, you know, that original video as well. So I kind of wish they had that again. But
You know, at least if I could respond with a meme, I would enjoy that very much. You know, if I could respond to some comments with just a meme, that would be so wonderful, because everything is said in that like eye roll picture, or, you know, like I'm saying, like I wish I could do that. That would make me so happy if they would give the creators the ability to respond to some of your comments with just memes. I'd be all over it.
that would be so grand.
It would be so good.
It would be so good, right? If you could just, especially because I have an entire library of like GIFs of myself. I would just respond with me just to piss them off because I'm petty. Like,
I can be petty. I'll tell you the most petty thing I ever did.
okay, please
So
do.
I had this guy that was commenting a lot on my YouTube channel. This was back in 2019 when my channel was just starting to get momentum. And this guy he was on a roll. He was going through a lot of videos.
Every single video.
Yeah, he was making a lot of comments, and a lot of them were just really inappropriate. And you know me, like some of these I was just screenshotting. And then one day I'm like, you know what? I'm going to find out who this dude is. I mean, does he live in Louisiana? Like, who is this guy? And so, sure enough, I found out who he is. Some people are not too brilliant, and they leave a hell of a trail of who they are. Sure enough, I find his Facebook page, and you know, he's married. He's married and he has kids. So I take all of those screenshots and the copy of his YouTube link, and I message his wife and let her know. And she just wrote back, "I'll take care of it." Never heard from the guy again.
Love that.
It was the most petty thing I ever did.
Queen supporting. You know what though? I'm right there with you because I tracked down their father. I tracked down the commenter's father, and I didn't, marry that father and then say, evil stepmother coming through. I instead just showed them the screenshots and whatnot of what their son had been sending me. And, and he kind of also did the, I'll take care of it, and I was like, oh, I've got more screenshots. And he's like, no, I've seen enough. I've seen it. I'm like, I got more. I got more. And he's like, no, that's okay. And here's another thing is I appreciate some of those TikTok accounts and accounts that actually will, when they find people who are acting a fool or
just really horrible
really egregious things.
Disgusting.
Yeah, they do, not by doxing them, which they're always accused of, but if it's public information that's available without, doing background
looking
reports.
On your LinkedIn account and finding out where you work is
that's
not
doxing. That's not doxing. You put that out there, right? It's a public profile that you have out there. Also not doxing. And because part of the definition of doxing is got to be that this information is private. So if it was a private profile, a little different than stuff on their public profile. So people keep that in mind. If you're going to out people, stuff that's public, don't go extra snoopy. But if you are going to call out people, I think that sometimes they don't stop until they're embarrassed by other people's reactions of what they've done. So the only reason that they stop is because their boss saw it, their wife saw it, their brother or sister or family member saw it. And they're like, that's not me. I didn't do that. And then like, here's the screenshots. And they're like, okay, that was me. I did it. But like, I'm not racist because I have I have a friend. You know what I mean? Or whatever it is.
Yeah,
And it's like,
my uncle is married to someone.
yeah, like that's the same.
Yeah.
Like, not the same.
That correlates.
Yeah, totally correlates. And that is one of those things where you see some of the people, they go out there and it's not even about always being held accountable, but it's like showing them a mirror. You don't have to say anything else. And I'm like, are you aware that this is what your husband is sending, or are you aware this is what your son? And I even said, I'm like, hey, if you don't see a problem, then hey, conversation's done. I've done my part. But like, it's usually not that. They're usually then also embarrassed or angry, which can, and you do have to walk that fine line, because then it can become a safety issue, right? Of like how much information or how retaliatory they may want to be. But I think for one part, like sometimes people don't stop until they're either embarrassed by their own reflection. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, but some of them are just like, there's literally people that wake up in the morning and like have that cup of Joe in the morning. They crack those knuckles. And they're like, I'm ready to go to work.
Can't wait to rabble rouse today.
Yeah, they have like they make their whole life on doing this, and I think you have to kind of, especially when they keep going at you and stuff, and they become more and more ridiculous. You realize that they don't even believe this. They're just working their
attention
hardest
seeking. Right.
Yeah.
They want to be seen, or like, they want other people to engage with them because it gives them something to do, some purpose,
power.
Right? It's power. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of the time, if you ignore them completely, they get really upset. Now, one thing that also happens, and I think categorically for most of us, this is the case, where we then take pause and we give attention to the people who are being a-holes, and we're not continually striving to strengthen our relationships with the people who leave the nice comments that we see repeatedly, that were, that kind of thing. And so I've also seen it be the thing where you might have someone start off with, I love your videos, I love you, blah, blah, blah. And then it's, why aren't you answering my comments? And then it turns into, you suck, you're stupid. And that's the comment you end up engaging with. And because they got some sort of dopamine hit from a reaction from their once favorite YouTuber, and this is why I come back to confused fans, they continue down the road of being mean, angry, and spiteful because it's the only way that they can get your attention.
Right. And like people that show up to my live stream, I make it very clear is that I generally only answer the comments on a video the first day, because that's what I have time for. And then after that, if it happens to come into my notifications, I'll answer a few more of them, but I don't spend a lot of time going through old videos and answering comments from videos from 6 months ago. It's too much time. I just don't have that kind of time. I mean, like to get 232 video comments on one video in a day, and then answer all the comments that I got on my hundreds of other videos, I would be sitting here all week long just answering comments. Yeah. And sure, maybe that would increase engagement to my channel and maybe add more traffic, but I don't want to do that. I'd rather make more content, Yeah. I don't know.
No, it's a good point. And that's why some people, hire teams to moderate or answer their comments, because it can be overwhelming, the larger or, the more comments that you get, trying to keep up with them. And it can be really, really difficult to do that.
All right. And I'm going to caution anybody who's thinking about doing this, because I've seen this happen where the creator the creators hired somebody to do this, and they will heart every single comment, whether I'm like they're hearting all these comments, even the spam comments. Like who is this that you're allowing to make the engagement for you where you heart every single comment? You shouldn't be doing that, And then they'll say, they'll hire these people and they'll answer, thanks for watching. And I'm like, these people had questions and you just totally ignored that. You just put thanks for watching. If you're going to hire a team or hire anybody to answer your comments, make sure that they can answer them the way that they should be answered. Especially like if you're in a field like a lawyer or a real estate agent, or, like anything medical like that. If your person that you're hiring doesn't know the answer, you should say, you know what, go ahead and reach out to me through my website. I would like to answer this question, and give your website, have them do the website type thing so they can ask their question to you directly. But do not just answer every single question and say thanks for watching on every single video. That's not smart.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the things that would definitely need to be discussed when you're talking about growing at scale and like bringing on team members, having like a few things in mind for people who are hired. One is going to be like tone of voice, point of view, things that like with canned responses that you would allow them to answer, things that are absolutely not okay to answer, like appropriate responses for things that fall inside of the gray area or that are not appropriate to answer, the types of comments that you would hold for moderation. And I think for a lot of people, having to think through all of those different elements, possibly write them down, share them out, is one of the reasons why they don't end up scaling, or they do it really crappily and lazily, hire the people, and then end up in trouble for doing all the things that they didn't do by setting the foundation correctly. Truth, man, truth. Any other fun? You tend to get a lot about your eyeshadow and your makeup, and is it now something that you do intentionally, sometimes wild and crazy, just to make people comment, or is it just like I just do as I do and they just find me?
Here's the thing. I've never done my makeup for anybody else but myself. Not a person. Like there are times in my life that I like to goop up on so much mascara that they look like spider legs on my eyes. The thing is that I like that. I know that it's probably not the most aesthetically pleasing to other people that may be watching, but it's not about what they like. It's about what I wanted to do on my face. It doesn't mean the words that are coming out of my mouth are any less valid than they were if I didn't have any mascara on at all. And the fact that people make that judgment because of the amount of mascara I have on or the eyeshadow I have on, like who cares? Like they don't validate who I am as a person. So I'm not going to worry about that. If they're going to insult the way I look, my hair, my overalls, my haircut, anything like that. No, I will take criticism. If I like that woman who wrote me that long thing and said that, I was like, yeah, you're right. Or I don't have a problem with like any kind of discourse with somebody. I'll say, well, let's push back on that a little bit, and we'll have a whole conversation about that. But it doesn't mean that like I have to take abuse from anybody either. So
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll joke with them. Sometimes I don't block those people that say nasty things about me. I just don't, because I honestly find it hysterical that they literally took time out of their day. They stopped everything, could not wait to sit there and just have to tell me that my makeup was just so horrendous that like they couldn't even watch because that my face was a jump scare.
Right.
My face is a jump scare. I'm like, there's times in the morning that I have jump scared myself. You're right. That's happened. Whatever.
Yeah, and it's important to realize that, again, it comes down to a lot of the time people don't know you, and it can be really tough to have them not dictate how the rest of your day may go, because a lot of what they say or how you want to interpret it, there are some days where I could read a comment and it's like, oh, it's nothing, and other days I'll just be in a ball, being like, throw it all away, shut the whole thing down. And it really can depend. So it can be a perfect storm sometimes when someone gets you on the wrong day on something that is just a sensitive, hot topic for you. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
my parents is never one of them.
Yeah, and so you may start to think about, some things that don't bother you or that don't affect you or that are kind of like off limits or stuff like that. It can be hard for a lot of people to kind of distinguish what that is. And I feel like when you're in the beginning, those first few comments that come in can be really devastating. And for some people can even get them to stop uploading or stop making content. So do you have any advice to people who, because when you're in the beginning, we have all these high hopes and aspirations, and then you just want people to like you and you want them to start watching your content. And then it becomes like you get those first few comments that are just telling you suck. Anything where you're just like, oh, it hurts so bad, where you would say to people?
I don't know. Like I said, the first video that I ever had that went viral, I got so much hate on it. It did affect me. It really did. I was like, oh, what am I doing here? I mean, oh my gosh, I didn't think it was that bad, and so I kind of like, it took me like 3 days to kind of like internalize everything, kind of go through all these things. This isn't about me. This is about them. Started looking at those people's profiles, realizing they were trolls, realizing that some of these dudes just like get off on making fun of women, some of these women are just miserable inside because they've never had a life, like it was okay. It wasn't, they weren't saying anything constructive about the content itself. It had to do with either my appearance or, it wasn't anything that I actually put in the video itself. So then I felt like then their opinion about everything else didn't even really matter. They didn't even watch it because they were so like, judgy. So I was like, you know what? I was bullied enough in high school. I don't need this from adults. I don't even care. So I never even engaged in it. And I moved on to the next video. And like, honestly, by the time I got to the next video, I'm like, these people are hysterical. They really need a life. If this is the most important thing to them, that like I'm sitting here talking about the homeless situation in Dallas, Texas, and they are so fixated on my eyeshadow color. They have bigger problems than I do.
They do have bigger problems. And here's one thing I say too. You want to look at the people who are actually sending you these comments sometimes. And just like you alluded to, a lot of the time they don't have profiles. They're not brave enough to put their face in an avatar. You go look and they don't create content. I can't tell you how many times and they don't even make videos and they're coming crapping all over my videos, right? And so it can become a little bit more easy to recognize some of these signs where it's like, I don't think they hate you. They hate a reflection of what they haven't done yet, right? They're mad that they haven't started their YouTube video career. They're mad that they don't know how to edit. They're mad that their retention and their click-through rate isn't what they want. They're mad that, and you're an easy target, right? And one of the things I say too is I usually, with my 20 accounts that I do have, I usually am not going around to your channel or someone else's channel that's my friend and being like, your eyeshadow sucks, you look stupid, you're so dumb, all the words that are coming out of your mouth, I can't even understand, right? Because we're busy in our lives and we're supporting our friends. And if we don't like something, we just stop watching it and we move on to something else. The people who have the time, think about this, they have the time to sit there and talk about all the things they don't like about you. Sometimes it's a reflection in themselves, but it's just they feel bad about the person that they are because they wish they were someone else, whether they realize it or not. They wish they were more successful. They wish they were making videos. They wish they had more friends. They wish they had, whatever. And I think if they could take some time sometimes to start realizing that they could change their frame of mind into, wouldn't it be cool if I learned how to edit? Wouldn't it be cool if I learned how to make videos? Couldn't I become almost friends with someone like Christina or Shelly to, better myself? And that would be a better place for them, but they don't want that right now. That's not where they're at. And so most of the time, it's not people who are more successful than you giving you these types of clues, indicators, and like not niceties. It's people who aren't as successful who are jealous or mad that they don't have or that you do have. It's one of those. Yeah?
Yeah. But I have to ask you a question though.
No.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Have you ever had anybody demand you make certain kind of content?
Oh, like, all the time. All the time.
I had a guy, he went on my website, filled out the referral form, and like filled out this whole section talking about, he was demanding that I make certain kind of content. And the way that he demanded it and the way he sounded, I finally just answered with one thing. Are you a realtor? And then he says, yes, I am. So I look him up. I find him on Facebook. I'm like, and so I just wrote back, if you feel like this information is so important, it needs to get out, it obviously better than I do. Why don't you go ahead and make your own video about it? Crickets.
Yep.
So then I couldn't help myself because I'm like, this dude obviously has some problems because he had actually gone into my spam folder on another email account too because he was doing something else, and I had somebody look up his numbers and stuff. I'm like, the dude hasn't sold anything since 2017, and he's demanding that I make certain.
And it's usually not the people who are more successful, right? Because they're either busy, they're friendly, or if it is someone who's more successful, they're usually not publicly bashing you. They're either professional enough to say to you in a DM, hey, this happened, I don't know, that was weird. Or like maybe they're friends with you, or they're going to maybe send an email, or they may leave a comment, but it's going to then fall into the more helpful, truthful, actionable versus the false and, like asshole type things. So a lot of the time you really have to take into account who's giving you the advice, because it's usually not the people who are doing a lot better than you. It's a lot of the time it's the people who aren't.
I will say though, I have totally bashed people that I just feel like talk out of their rear end. I
have done that, but I will also I will stick to my guns in this instance, and I will be like, but I would say the same to their face. I would say the same to their face. It's not like a two-sided type of thing, and it's not something where, okay, so I'm going to talk to you about something. It's going to get me in trouble. Oh, hey, Eric, how's it going? Okay, so there was actually a Twitter thread that I got tagged in this week, and it said something like, oh, I've seen a lot of these like YouTube gurus out there, and I'm like, good for you. And it said what I think would be cool, what I want to see, again, them creating our content or telling us what we should make. And that's not to say that you don't get ideas from people, and you do, but it's like
Absolutely.
when they demand, you know what I'm saying?
Demand it.
There's a difference. Absolutely. I had one who's like, you need to make this video, but because my project is due this weekend, so make this video tomorrow. I'm like, excuse me, what? Anyways, This Twitter thread that I'm in, it said something like, well, I follow all these YouTube gurus and I want to see them as homework do a stream or a video where they say 5 things they would change about other people's channels, other YouTube gurus' channels. So it'd be like me talking about Daryl Eve's channel, 5 things I would do differently on his channel, and on D Nimmons' channel, and Nick Nimmons' channel, and on Leron, channel. So that's what they wanted, was for us to go critique 5 things we do differently on someone else's YouTube channel. And
I would say that's really a stupid idea.
Yeah, and I was just like, okay, so let me, okay, so this is like the battle royale, and I'm like, in my head, I was just like, first of all, like, these are our coworkers and colleagues. We go to conferences with them, we work with them, we're in the same sphere, and the last thing I'm gonna do is be like, hey, Nick Nimmin, here's 5 things I think you're doing wrong on your channel. And so my response was, I was like, if one of my aforementioned friends asked me for advice, I would give it to them personally. If they wanted to do a live stream or a video or a type of collab, I would consider it. Okay. And then I said, but
just to throw it out there just to the universe like that?
Yeah, just to do it because, and I was just like,
so many different YouTube strategies. That's and they're
exactly.
Thing.
And I was just like, but I was like, if they did not ask, I would keep my mouth shut, right?
Absolutely.
Because there's tons of things that we might do for other channels, or, that we would do differently for ourselves. But it's like, but we don't know their goals, their strategies, the fact that they're trying to do, courses or memberships versus just views. There's so much different in all of our strategies. We all have different demographics that we're going after, whether it's brands, businesses, the brand new creator, the gamer. It would be so erroneous for any of us to come out and be like, here's 5 things you should do differently. And I was like, and no one signed up for that. You just threw our names in this hat. And he's like, well, I just, I think it would be great. And I'm like, I'm sure you would think it was great. But it's like, right. All of us who work together in this, I tried to, I didn't want to be like a jerk, but I'm like, I don't go uninvited to someone else's house and then tell them where I would have put their furniture instead. That's right. What it feels like to me.
Mother-in-law.
I'm just like, I don't like your furniture placement. I think the living room should be over here and all this furniture over here. No. And I'm just like, for some battle royal that you want, it makes sense maybe, but just because you can't pick a guru and stick with it, that's not my problem, is kind of what I was wanting to say.
I think there's confusion though with a lot of people that start watching YouTube gurus. They'll say, well, I would never listen to this guy because this guy's the best and blah blah blah. They don't realize that the most 99% of the gurus that are the top ones are all friends.
We're all friends.
They all hang out
we're all hanging out at Vid Summit. We're talking. We're all at conferences. We're doing our speaking thing.
they go on vacations together.
Yes.
Like I saw a group of them go on vacation together.
They went to Mexico, right?
So, yeah, something like that. You know, so
and then
like,
we work with each other again and again and again. We see each other at conferences
on
again and again.
right, on so many different occasions they're working together and they are friends. And that is another thing too, because I think as people we're grown up to make everything into a competition. And that was the coolest part of YouTube for me, is that I look at YouTube as the people that are true creators are really the true collaborators. They don't look at people as they are my competition, that they stole my audience.
Right.
No, like,
that's not how it works.
The people that are like toxic Teds is what I call them. Those people sound like that. But for the majority, especially when you go to conferences and you meet all these people, everybody's really trying their hardest to talk to everybody and like get their ideas and pick their brain. And there's a true sense of collaboration. That's
collaboration over competition, for sure.
Absolutely. And like, that's what I love about YouTube so much. I think most people, and like if you go into Clubhouse or live streams and everything else, people are really willing to just vomit out everything that they know, because they don't want to have them suffer like they did when they were going through their YouTube journey.
Yeah.
I mean, like think about Nick Nimmin. I mean, he runs that live stream on Saturday for hours by himself. I don't know how he doesn't just wipe out, because I do it for like an hour and a half, and afterwards I'm like, I need a nap just from talking all that time. So like, he's really giving people a service for no other expectation other than he's giving just value. Doing it because he just really enjoys helping people and answering their questions. And you know, like, that is amazing. And you don't get that from any other type of business at all, ever. But you will from creators that are making stuff on YouTube.
Yeah. It's so well said. And so there was so much that I like wanted to say. And so a couple other people, you know, at least tried to make a joke out of it and be like, well, I want D's because, you know, he hasn't uploaded in like, you know, 6 months except for a couple of live streams. He's like, I would tell him to make more channels or make more videos or something, you know. And so that's a funny joke. But like everyone else is like, it's like, I didn't quite know how to like make them understand or see that it was like not a good idea. Wrong. You know? Mm-hmm. Like, I can't even imagine like me making a video like 5 things Daryl Leaves does wrong on his YouTube channel. Like, hi, like career suicide for ever wanting to like talk at a conference again that he's at, or be with any part of channel, like 20 channels that he has or something. Like, why would anyone like go out there and be like, I don't
think he would be mad though.
I don't think he would be, but you know what I mean? Like, it would just be like, you look like a fool. Don't do it. Like, what are you doing? What are you, just don't do it.
But I think he'd almost like welcome it because nobody has the balls to do it. Right. So I think he would always be like, hey, Shelly, that was a really interesting take. So let me explain to you why I know. Think you're
there
wrong.
It is. There, that's exactly what he did. Like, let me explain to you why I didn't do that. Because last year I raised more money than anyone ever has for an independent film project and made a television show and had 3 other channels that you don't even know about go platinum. So you're right, though. My own personal YouTube channel could have done this differently, but I'm okay with it. You know what I mean?
That is like, you did the perfect Daryl Eves impression. Yeah, but he like... I don't think he minds pushback or discourse or conversations about things. I mean, I think he kind of invites it. I don't think many people challenge him anymore. So anybody that's willing to do it, I think he enjoys a little bit of like, you know?
Yeah.
He'll listen. He's not that dude. He isn't like, he doesn't think he's all that in a bag of chips that he won't listen.
Yeah. I just can't imagine anyone being like, yeah, this seems like a really good idea. Let's do that.
Sometimes when I hear people though, when they are arguing with him, I'm like, you just stepped in it. Like, why did you do that? like, you know, you have that internal embarrassment for them. You're like, oh,
you don't even know who you're talking to right now. And it's not like, if y'all don't know who Daryl, we're talking about Daryl Leaves, and he is like, he does have his own YouTube channel, but he is like a mastermind behind a lot of other YouTube channels that you may not know about. He's done some consulting for like every single big brand that actually wants to be successful out there. He has his own like YouTube program that he doesn't even advertise that does really well. So I mean, like, the guy is,
he runs The Chosen.
Yeah, exactly. He's doing amazing things. And so, but anyone who funnily enough, we were having the conversation today about like, sometimes you judge a channel by, let's say, subscribers or something like that. And so if someone maybe wants to go to his channel and be like, oh, you haven't uploaded in a while, or oh, what is this? You know, and they want to talk, and they don't even know about, you know, all of these channels that he has that are over 1 million, or the book that he's written, or the conferences that he holds, or like who he helps. That's one of those things where it's like, you can't just judge a book by one cover, you know, because there's a lot of contents inside the chapters of a lot of this stuff. And a lot of what he does isn't for the monetary gain. It is for the love of different stuff that he's got going on. And so a lot of people don't realize that. And so it is interesting listening to some people, you know, and this goes for anyone. The same could be said for Nick Nimmin. You know, he's got like Tuber Tools. He's got, you know, Creator Mix with D Nimmin. He's got like all of his own YouTube coaching stuff. He's got private Facebook groups. And a lot of people would just be like, he hasn't even hit 1 million subscribers yet. You know what I mean? And so it's just, you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, you guys are looking at maybe not all of the whole picture. You're looking at the snapshot. You're looking at one snapshot in time.
Yeah, think a little deeper than a paper cup, you know?
Yes.
Like Dixie cups come in lots of different sizes, so think a little bit bigger than the one they use at the dentist office.
That is this. Pixel Pia says, I am trolling Shelly everywhere. Yeah. Don't start a creator war. No creator wars.
Oh, do you know what my favorite thing to do? Because I recently was, I had somebody that was like puffing their chest. They're like, I have 257,000 subscribers to my channel. And he's like, yeah, you know, I started it in like the same time you did. And I'm like, that's awesome. I'm glad you're doing so good. Yeah, that's fantastic.
That's great.
So he was just sitting there like, you know, like just chewing my ear and everything. So I was like going like this. And so I went to his channel and I look at his views and I'm like, huh. He's like, what? I'm like, oh, that's interesting that you have so many subscribers. I was like, because I was looking at your video views. He's like, yeah, I mean, I get X amount of video views a month. I'm like, right, but I'm like 20 million more video views than you are with the amount of subscribers. I was like, wow, that's really interesting. I couldn't look at that.
Well done. Well played.
I know. Sometimes I have to give it a little back.
Sometimes you don't have to, but it tickles your pink to do it.
Yeah, I know. It makes me just like.
And I love that sometimes you just like you don't even know sometimes who you're talking to, and some people. And I've had this experience. Let's say for with Podfest type of things where we're in a Zoom with a lot of different people who will be speaking at this conference and stuff. And, you know, the person who is sometimes the quiet one in the corner is like 10 million downloads a month on my podcast. But they're just there to like give back and talk. But like people are, oh, she's a quiet one or whatever, not knowing who they're talking to. And that's the thing is everyone out there is a person and is important. And you can't just solely look at one snapshot of anyone and think that you have a complete picture of who they are.
You know who I always get a big kick out of whenever she pops in, nobody really connects the two together, is Jessica Hatch. Right? So she runs Gone to the Snow Dogs. And sometimes I would catch her in YouTube rooms, you know, and she'd start talking and stuff. And people were kind of like being snarky McSnarkykins. And then I would be like, I don't know if you guys know this, but Jessica there runs not only like a Facebook channel, she also runs like
with over 1 million people following it, and a YouTube channel with 1 million people following it, and a Pinterest with 100,000. I'm like, you might want to listen to her.
Yeah, and then she'll even say, "I'm. That's my job. I'm a social media.
She's like, I'm a multi-platform content creator, and she is that humble. She doesn't like ever like go out there and be like, I have 1 million. You know, she just doesn't do that. You know, and so it's funny. I've had the same experience. She's been in a couple of rooms and she's given advice, and maybe she's, you know, saying like, I don't think that's really a good idea, or, you know, I don't found that's worked, or, you know, someone's like, who are you? And I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Or they start challenging her. I'm like, whoa, let's dial it back just a smidge with your channel with 100 subscribers. She's got 100 million. You know, like,
yeah. And it's not that like numbers mean everything, but I'm like, she could have gone full time on her channel many, many years before she did. She's been around this YouTube sphere for a very long time. She's very experienced. I know you just started your channel, you know, last month, and you think you figured it all out. You got some things you can learn, young pup. Literally, young pup.
we used to have this girl, like, and it was like everybody knew who she was because she showed up on every single person's stream, and she would have all these comments and advice to give to everybody. Like, she kept saying this all the time about all, I mean, she just could not wait to give her 2 cents to everybody. And then finally, somebody had enough. Somebody finally
I've had enough.
Yeah, and let her have it. And then she boo-hooed to all the gurus going, this person picked on me and I don't think it's fair. So they were like, okay, can you kind of dial it back? And they were like, no, I can't. Like, this person is obnoxious. And she was like, she wouldn't stop. Like, it wasn't enough that she contacted the people that own the channel. It was like, then she was trying to get other people to turn on this person that kind of called her out on her BS. And then she was in all these discords trying to stir the pot and everything. It's like, girl, you've never even made a video and you're telling big creators with 150,000 subscribers what to do with their channel and demanding it of them. People are going to start to, I don't know, get offended. Well, I'm a viewer and my opinion is just as important. No, it's not. No, you're one person out of the 150,000. There's a reason why their channel gets, 100,000 views per video. Zip it. Zip it. But she couldn't get it. But she finally disappeared. Finally,
and what's funny is like people like that too, people remember them as being argumentative, being contrarian, being so
crazy.
Yeah, biased and crazy, that then let's say that she does become more, or he becomes more popular, and then they start reaching out for collabs. It's not like no one is going to want to work with them because they'll be like, this person can't keep their mouth shut. This person has nothing nice to say. This person doesn't help the community. This person thinks it's their way or the highway. And look, I would appreciate it if the next time you're talking about me, you just say so to my face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. I was kidding about the last one, but you know what I mean. Because if you think about it, your calling card and your reputation will sometimes dictate whether or not people will hire you, work with you, have you talk on their stages, work with their clients, refer you to someone if their, roster is full. All of that stuff comes into effect because I still have people to this day that I won't recommend because I learned who they really were, or I had a bad interaction with them and I can hold a grudge forever. Yeah. And some of those memories stay burned, seared into my brain. I'm like, hell no, not even like with the blaze of 1,000 suns. I would never, ever.
Yeah. No, I had somebody on my channel that I allowed to come on my live stream because I had somebody cancel on me. This person had been bothering me for a while. I kind of didn't do my due diligence in investigating them, but I needed that spot filled. So I was like, hey, you want to come on? They had a YouTube channel. I'd seen them talk. I was like, okay, they obviously know how to at least talk to a camera. So I had them on, and I felt like the stream really went well, but I wouldn't allow them to pitch the product that they wanted to sell because that's not what my channel was about, and that's not what my live streams are about. Apparently, that was offensive to him, and he decided that he was going to talk to people about the fact that he thought that live stream was totally crazy and out of control, and he wasn't even allowed to talk about the things that he really thinks are important and products that people should know about when selling, like getting mortgages with him.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So he had said that to people that were contacting him because they saw him on my channel, and then he's talking crap about me. I guess he thought it would never get back to me, but after
and
a
it
couple
does.
People
it always very Justin Timberlake. What goes around comes around.
I took off his video. I erased it, and I got an email like, I don't know what I did to offend you. Whatever it is, please let me know. I really want to clear the air. I mean, can we just start from... No, nope. You're not going to talk about me like that.
You're going to burn the bridge. You're going to walk over the bridge. Nope.
Right. To people that came to you because you were on my stream and then talk trash about me? Are you out of your mind?
And that's the whole thing is like a lot of the time, I think people want to believe, let's say, all these YouTube people in the same sphere, we're at each other's throats and we're, like, oh no, like we're not secretly like friends.
There's a few though.
There are. But like also when like something good happens to D Niman, I'm celebrating. When something good
Oh
happens
yeah.
to, Daniel Batal, I love it. And I will retweet it and I will say congratulations and I will like say all this stuff. And it's not because I'm just trying to like suck up. Like, they're
Yeah.
my friends and I want to celebrate them. Just like when something great happens to you, right? Like I want to say great things about you and say that you're a badass or something like that because we're friends. And I think that people forget that like we're friends in this sphere. And I had done an episode, I think last week, where we were talking about people like to collab with their friends or people that they respect. They will collab with people that they don't like if they can get something out of it. But, they like to work with their friends. And so
I help people all the time.
Yeah.
When people are like, there's a couple people that like, I think they maybe only have a couple thousand subscribers, maybe. I don't even know.
I love how you
don't
say
even
they
know.
only have a couple thousand. You know that
Well,
I have
I'm just
YouTube channels that have like 3 subscribers.
But my point
You're still
is
friends
this,
with
is
me.
that
I
when-
have a channel with 3 subscribers.
My point is this, is that when I say, hey, you know what? I watched that video you did on these loans and stuff. Can I borrow a clip from that? Because I'm going to put it in my video and I'll put, say your channel name in there when you do your little spot in my video. They're like, are you kidding? I'm like, no. They're like, yeah, I'll send it over right away. Like,
Yeah.
I can't believe you allow me to be in your video. I'm like, that's damn good information. It was a great clip and it saves me having to edit 1.5 minutes. So yeah, you're going to my video.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And not only is it the pay it forward, but like remembering sometimes like you are the big dog and like it's good to look back and if you can help someone or if the information's good and you just want to say so and it helps someone's like state of mind and they're so excited about it and they feel they love that and that strengthens and bonds your guys' relationship too. So I mean,
I want
it's
everybody
a win-win.
to do good.
Me too.
I do really genuinely want people to do well. So I'm always helping people. I have to tell you this. Have you ever had a tag in your shirt that's like poking you and you just couldn't figure it out and you keep scratching all day?
Yes.
The end, this corner on this thing. I thought I had gotten a bug bite. I've been scratching all day and I finally figured it out. It's this freaking tag. So I just cut it out.
Yes. Yes, I have.
Totally off topic. Totally
Totally cool.
I'm going to have to get going in about 5 minutes, but I just wanted
me too. It's already like I went an hour long just because I like talking to you.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I hope I didn't scare any small children. I did not put any.
Oh, shut up. You look great.
War paint on today.
You look great. Well,
Whatever.
if you had put the war paint on, I probably had to leave 5 comments about it. So.
Yeah, I know. Because I really love like painting I'm not even joking. I really do paint on my eyebrows. And I will sit there and I spend a lot of time like detailing every little eyebrow hair out and stuff. And then when somebody says, oh my God, those eyebrows look like 2 worms crawled up on your face and died. I'm like, I like them.
But you know what though?
Like them.
So many.
It's a piece of artwork, and artwork is subjective.
Different strokes, different folks, right? At one point, some people thought like the caterpillar thing was in. Like, remember the weather, like the wavy feather thing people were into for a little bit. The block one, the little sperm tadpoles. Like, there are so many iterations of eyebrows and stuff too. And you know what I say? Like, it's not hurting you. Just let them. Okay. Actually, so I'm just going to say this real quick. I was so pissed off that so many people are so offended that Britney had some sort of like nude photo of herself that she posted on Instagram, right? With emojis over covering some of her bits and bobs. And the same people who like a month ago, 2 months ago were like, free Britney, we love it. And I'm like, you're not her new conservator. Leave her alone. She's fine, right? She couldn't even
she's
like.
She's a grown woman.
She's a grown ass woman, right? Just let her. But then like the same people a week later, now that like Hillary Duff is posing nude on the cover of a magazine, they're like, look at her. She looks so good. Oh my God. Can you believe she's had some babies? And I'm like, weren't you just shaming Britney for the same damn thing? So what is it? Like, you either are offended or you're like, you can't pick and choose like that.
They do though.
And they do. And that is just one of those, that's like this whole online troll hater thing where we're coming full circle with this is like, they pick and choose when to be offended. It's offensive, that Britney is doing this on her own terms when she's been under conservatorship for 13 years, but it's all of a sudden celebrated that Hillary Duff did this, and I'm just like, why?
The poor Britney Spears really was raked through the coals from a very young age.
Yeah.
And I think that people feel like she like somehow deserves it for some reason, but whatever, you know.
And
like,
I'm like, you can't take
I
someone.
just hope she has the emotional maturity right now to understand that this isn't about her. You know, like I hope that she can look at these comments and kind of laugh about it and be like, you know what, I can't wait to do my next naked spread to get everybody talking. I hope that that's where her mental state is. That's all I hope for her.
I just want people to leave her alone and let her be happy, you know? Good God, she's earned it. Just let her be happy.
Let her just
and that being said, Team Johnny, justice for Johnny Depp.
I haven't watched much of it, but like I do get the TikToks of that, you know? And I'm like, you know, if anything can make you like that man even more is like some of the things that have said and what he does, and the ridiculously. It's like almost like a sitcom. It's so ridiculous, some of the stuff that has been said, that he really has won no matter what happens in the case.
I think that's one of the reasons he wanted it in public anyway, even if they both lose, which they very well could. Just the fact that everyone now has to hear how ridiculous and circular some of her arguments and, you know, recollections and all the tapes floors. And all of the, like, all the parakeet floors, I know, right?
The parakeet floors, I mean, parquet.
It died. I died at that too. And I mean, just like not only the ridiculousness, but like, I don't understand how people couldn't be like, he had the patience of a saint listening to her and like physically like rip off half of his finger and him still be like, I still love you. You know what I mean? Like, this woman is nuts. So, and I don't say that lightly. I'm certifiably, you know, the whole BPD, PTSD, histrionic, like she is just beyond.
But that's obviously that's something he's attracted to. Like I've met people like every time they're like, well, that relationship ended. So then you get the next relationship. You're like, you just are in the same.
I don't think it was. I think like she was really good at. Oh, okay, this is personal, and now all of a sudden we're going into gossip. But I think she was just really good at pretending to be what he wanted for a long time until she had him trapped.
My mom always used to say when I was young and I was dating, is that people can pretend for about 6 months. About 6 months, some little cracks in their armor start showing. And sure enough, by the end of that year, you've seen a few red flags. If they're red flags, you can deal with, and you can go on to the next year. But you need to evaluate that at the end.
I give them a full calendar season, right? Because you don't know, you know, how the holidays. You need to see. I would say like it starts. Well, I mean, it can show up sooner, but I feel like a lot of people can like because each holiday is the first holiday. It's the first Christmas together. It's the first Valentine's Day. You know, so. But I just think honestly, I feel like when you're generous and kind and wealthy, you will sometimes attract people who enjoy taking your money and running you over with demands. And when you don't have a lot of boundaries for yourself, or like if you're a giver, you just will always end up with a taker.
This is true on YouTube though. This is like trolls. This happens with creators and trolls. You're literally describing the same kind of like the creators, except a lot of hate, and they are people pleasers and they try to do things. You're explaining the same thing.
Yeah, it is
exactly what we.
And I feel like he probably tried and bent over backwards to give her everything she wanted and all of these experiences and all of these things. And when you pair up with a giver and you're a taker, there's never enough, you know. So you just keep taking until you know.
You suck that person dry.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I'm interested to see how it all plays out.
I think they both might end up losing. But I think in the court of public, court of public opinion, he's doing okay.
Yeah. Good on him.
Good on him.
Like, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to end the stream, but hold on. I have one thing to say to you offline. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. No, you're good. Everyone out there, thank you so much for listening to us ramble and talk about trolls and apparently pop culture. Yeah, if you want more of that, let me know.
I don't know why that happened.
Apparently we have opinions on things and Britney Spears. So there you go. So I think I'm going to have Emily D. Baker on. I don't know if I told you that one of these days. I was like, I don't know, maybe like July or something after all this craziness has like calmed down. And I'm like, I can't guarantee you like 50 1,000 people on a stream like you've been having, but I can probably guarantee like 10 people. 10 people. And
I hope she shows up.
Oh, no. She was fine with it. She's like, yeah, that sounds great. But
she's very low. Like you met her at VidSummit, right? You talked to her at VidSummit. She's very, very
she's the
down
best.
to earth too.
Yeah, I love her.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Everyone out there, thank you so much. Make sure you come back next Tuesday. We're going to be talking with Mahat Mama about all of the OnlyFans and the goodness over there. And thanks so much for hanging out with us. I know she's so great, and her great hair. You better be here to talk to her too. So we'll see you all next week. Bye.